KL Publications presents Love Falls by Ryan C. Sanders. In a quiet village cuddled in the valley, two souls found each other amidst the noise of the world. Marcus and Olivia, seemingly drawn by fate, connected instantly in a way that felt rare. They had that type of bond where words often fell away, replaced by understanding glances, soft touches, and the warmth of shared silences. Their love wasn't marked by grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It was quiet, deep, and profoundly real. Yet, despite the depth of their connection, Olivia carried invisible scars, wounds from her past that bled into her present, creating barriers that even Marcus couldn't immediately see. Olivia had always been haunted by a constant companion, fear. Fear that felt like an insidious shadow creeping into her heart, whispering doubts and reminding her of past pains. Fear had never come alone. It was accompanied by memories of betrayals, broken trust, and the emotional wells and walls she had built up around herself for protection. But with Marcus, she longed for something more, a freedom from the past, a chance to truly love without hesitation or fear. Yet, every time she leaned into that desire, her past would pull her back, tightening its grip, convincing her that love was dangerous, that vulnerability was a mistake. Marcus was patient, always present, standing beside her like a lighthouse in the storm of her emotions. He saw her pain, even when she didn't speak of it. He recognized how fear wrapped itself around her, disguised as false evidence that appeared real, turning the warmth of their love into something that felt fragile and uncertain. It was frustrating for him at times, knowing the depth of their connection, but feeling the distance she created, not because she wanted to push him away, but because her fear told her that she had to. One evening, a long day at work, Olivia found herself spiraling into a familiar maze of anxiety. They sat together on the couch, and though Marcus was physically close, emotionally, it felt like he was miles away. Olivia's mind raced as she recalled moments in the past relationships where love had betrayed her, where trust had been shattered. Her breathing became shallow. Her thoughts tangled in a loop of worst-case scenarios. What's wrong? Marcus asked gently, noticing the change in her demeanor. Olivia shook her head, unwilling to speak. How could she explain the turmoil inside her when it felt like irrational, even to herself? She didn't want to burden him with her fears, yet those very fears were creating the distance she dreaded. Marcus reached for her hand, his touch steady and calming. Olivia, talk to me. What are you thinking of right now? I don't know, she whispered, her voice trembling. I'm scared, Marcus. I'm scared of losing you. I'm scared that I'm not enough, that something will go wrong and I'll be hurt again. There it was, the mission that had been suffocating her for so long. Marcus didn't flinch. He didn't rush to reassure her or deny her feelings. Instead, he took a deep breath and remained present, knowing that reacting to her fear with his own would just escalate the situation. I'm here, he said softly. I'm not going anywhere. Olivia looked at him, her eyes searching for a sign of frustration or impatience. But all she saw was love. A love that wasn't asking her to be perfect or free of fear, but a love that was willing to stand beside her in the midst of her pain. I know I push you away sometimes, Olivia confessed, tears brimming up in her eyes. I don't mean to, it's just my past. It's always there, telling me not to trust this, not to trust us. Marcus nodded, understanding but not overwhelmed by her confession. He had learned over time that his role wasn't to fix her or to force her or to heal. She would heal on her own time. His job was to be steady, to maintain his own sense of dignity and self-respect, even when her fear tried to create chaos. "I know," he said, "but you have to understand that your past doesn't have to dictate our future. We're not repeating what happened before. This is different." "I want to believe that," Olivia said, her voice crackling. "But what if—" "There is no what if," Marcus interrupted, his tone firm but compassionate. "There's only right now. And right now, I love you. I'm here with you. And every time your fear tries to pull you away from me, I'm still going to be here." Olivia blinked, surprised by the clarity of his words. Marcus wasn't reacting to her fear. He wasn't engaging with it as if it was the truth. He was simply acknowledging it and then reminding her of the reality of their present, of the love they shared and the journey they were on together. "It's hard," she admitted. "I don't want to let this fear control me, but it's like it's always there." "I know it's hard," Marcus said, his voice gentle, "but every time you face it, you're taking a step forward. You don't have to be perfect, Olivia. You just have to keep trying, and I'll be here with you every step of the way." In that moment, Olivia felt something shift inside of her. It wasn't the fear disappeared. It never did that easily. But she realized that Marcus wasn't asking her to be fearless. He was asking her to keep walking through her fear with him by her side. And that made all the difference. They sat together in silence for a while, Marcus' hand still wrapped around hers. And for the first time in a long time, Olivia felt a glimmer of hope. The journey ahead wasn't going to be easy, but it was one way they could walk together, hand in hand, facing her fears and traumas, not as obstacles that separated them, but as challenges that would strengthen their bond. Marcus didn't need to rescue her from her pain. He just needed to be present, to love her through it. And in return, Olivia would learn to trust him, to let go of the false evidence that appeared real, and to open herself to the possibility of love without fear. In that quiet evening, they both realized that true love wasn't about being free from pain or fear. It was about choosing to grow together, to support each other through the darkness, and to find the light of acceptance and growth in every moment that they shared. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe.